All right, hello everyone. Welcome back. I am Philido, joined by Mini MG. How are you doing? You excited for this match?
Hey, yeah, this is going to be a very exciting match, and I'm doing good, thanks.
Yeah, this should be a good one here. They're just getting the room all set up here, but we'll have a quick look at the standings. So for this one, we have Revi versus Ouoyupot. So they're just getting set winners semifinals. So win this one, and you're on to, at the very least, the winners final. So trying to stay in that winners column as long as you can. Certainly an advantage to get to the grand finals without taking a loss. So this is on the track to do so.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty important match. It's going to really separate out the players that are really going for that complete victory.
Yeah, and the advantage to get to the grand finals from via the winners track is that essentially, since it is basically a double knockout, you have sort of a safety net. So you're able to lose a set effectively, and then still play a second one. Since coming in as the winner, you'd have to lose twice. So it's definitely a good boon.
Yeah, it gives you a bit of a fail-safe if you've been on a nice streak or just really, really good. So if you get some bad levels, then you can have a good chance to come back.
And of course, the farther along you get as well, there's always the prize money as well. So that's something to keep in mind. Nice little bonus as well. And of course, it's a lot of fun to play and a lot of fun to watch as well, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So they're just getting set.
Yeah, we have our first match in a few minutes, waiting for people to join.
Yeah, this should be a good one, though. As we said, both these players, as of yet, are undefeated, and yeah, it should be a good one. You know, it's always exciting. You know, the farther you go on with players that are undefeated, you know, I mean, all of the players in the tournament are excellent players, but the farther along you go undefeated, you know, it makes it a little bit more tense. It's more exciting to watch, and you know, it really hypes it up for sure.
Yeah, having grand finals match is probably going to be immensely hyped to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be a great one to look forward to, but this one will be great as well. And yeah, we'll see how it goes on this one. It'll be first to four level clears for these players. If they end up timing out, we'll just move on to the next level. That won't, you know, it won't be counted for or against any player. So, and sometimes levels are just impossible to complete with things like, you know, rising lava or something like that. So sometimes we have to just move on to the next level. And looks like both the players are in the room now, so we are about to get going here.
Yeah, so we're starting our match. Yeah, of course, with all the multiplayer mechanics and how loading works, there are a ton of levels which can become completely impossible after one try.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. It's you know, sometimes you get yeah, like you said, you know, impossible levels, not only rising lava, sometimes there's just mechanics that just sort of, I mean, Mario Maker, it's a great game, but sometimes things just break, and with multiplayer, and certainly we've seen that a lot. I expect we'll see a few, if not in this match, but for sure the rest of the day. I guarantee there'll be at least one or two levels that just can't be done, and you know, sometimes as well, both players just agree to give up. There's levels where, you know, one player just, you know, if there's a key or a clear condition, something like that, and really a key in a way is a clear condition with the way multiplayer works. So something to keep in mind. Sometimes they'll just move on because sometimes there's a guy with the key, he's not going to move forward, and there's no way to, you know, to progress to the level. So, you know, it's just something to stay on top of, but it should be exciting as we get going into the first match here. And we'll see what this one entails. I see a checkpoint right away, but we'll see if that pipe leads into it, and we're off.
Yes, there'll probably be a massive section in this underground area going through the pipe. And a boom fight already.
Yeah, right away, and interesting that that's a neat little spot for a mushroom there. I actually like that. You don't get it right away. You still have to survive a little bit there as it sort of makes its way around, but they're through to the next section here.
Yeah, ooh, are you taking a death there to Bowser Jr.? Having the conveyor belts moving backwards and forwards really messing up your momentum.
Yeah, well, it does, right? Especially for if you're going against the grain and now all of a sudden you're flying across the screen, and it can certainly be a challenge to maintain that. So Oyo moving through here and has gotten a checkpoint at the very least, so we'll get to skip at least the running of that first section there.
Yeah, managing to steal the key from Revi earlier, getting him a bit of advantage, but does die to the spikes, losing his mushroom and losing his toad.
Yeah, the magic hoop is making things just, you know, even that much more more challenging, of course, but
yeah, turning all those blocks into random things. Goal is to get Bowser to thwomp into the lava, but it'll be pretty hard to do so due to the magic hoop going absolutely everywhere.
yeah, and actually you start to run out of blocks to stand on, you know, kind of quickly, and so you have to make some pretty precise jumps as they both get taken out by some fire there, so they'll have to go again. And but you know, it's, you know, thankfully the blocks are there and they stay sort of permanently broken. It's not like, you know, in some levels with, you know, with Bowser, like, you know, in New Soup or something like that, where if they both, you know, leave the screen, the sort of the health resets. In this case, you know, they just need to knock him down.
Yeah, having Bowser strong with the ground though is causing some issues, not really having anywhere to stand. So Revi choosing not to take the mushroom this time, just gonna try and go straight for the key door. But Bowser did die to something, there is a key. Are you trying to throw him into the spikes, but manages to sneak up just a mushroom just about?
Yeah, and so quite a battle to get in the door here, and
that's Revi in, and that's the axe. GG.
yeah, so a bit of steal there at the end. I mean, it's always interesting with those key doors, like I said, sort of that clear condition. You know, they, you know, got to fight each other out for that.
Yeah, it all comes down to who can get the key and who can get through the door first. So that's 1 point to Revi. We'll be doing our second match here. So really, stuff like boss fights can really cause a real tie-up, and all it comes down to is taking that key, of course. Because once you get that, that is pretty much the end, as most levels don't have anything after the key door.
Yeah, so especially on boss fights. Yeah, exactly. You get through the, you know, especially like a, you know, sort of a boss rush where you have a few in a row. You know, usually once you get to the Bowser or whatever at the end, you know if you get through that, that's probably the end of the level. And so, yeah, the great equalizer. You know, it's always disappointing. Like in the levels like that, you sort of know what you're in for. But sometimes there's levels where, you know, it's like a good adventure level all the way and whatever, or something like that. And then all of a sudden there's a boss fight at the end and the other player can catch up. And in single player, those are often good levels, you know, well themed with the boss fight at the end. But in multiplayer, you'd rather just it be, you know, sort of platforming or whatever it is, you know, without the chance for the other player to catch up. If you're in the lead, you want to be able to maintain that lead, but that's not always possible.
Yeah. And both players take a death onto the blue skull raft, going just too fast, trying to run across it. Yeah, both making it across, got spin on some piranha plants.
There's two pipes here. I think a smart idea for them to take separate pipes, because if they both were in the same one, then, you know, you have the one guy with the lead, and that could do it. Yeah,
they'd be in the same thing, but then of course one person could be in front, and then they'd go on further. They do have to kill 23 Pokies though, seems to be Pokies everywhere. They need a Yoshi to get them, I believe.
Well, and the other thing is there's 2 seconds left here, so... yeah, there we go, so that's a timeout.
Yeah, didn't even see the timer, but yeah, levels like that. Short timers really don't work in multiplayer.
Well, the thing with speedruns too, I mean, that one was kind of strange because it had a clear condition, but in general with speedruns, you know, you only really get one try at it, right? Because, you know, the timer's so tight, and the thing is too with pipes and doors, if your level is just like, you know, running through it and, you know, dodging things, or platforming, that works out okay. But in multiplayer, the timer actually keeps going because there's, you know, 2 or more players in, you know, loaded in at the same time. And so if you go through a pipe or a door, the timer actually doesn't pause like it does normally if you're playing a speedrun or any level, for that matter, on your own in single player. And so if the timer is super, super tight, often, even if you had a perfect run through the speedrun level, which you usually don't get one shot at, it's just completely impossible if it's really tight.
Yeah, theoretically, you could make a level completely impossible multiplayer just because of timers. There's a ton of Bowser fire from massive Bowsers. Looks like all you need is a key, but where to get one? There's hordes and hordes of Bowser fire just going absolutely everywhere.
That's too many Bowsers, in my opinion, I would say.
Yeah, that's, I think that's a bit too many as well. Maybe have only one Bowser. So now Revi
Yeah, I
making
think
his way
one's
through.
enough.
Yeah. Any more than one Bowser is too many Bowsers. So yeah, Revi now making his way and finds a hidden star. But the block does get destroyed. Now that block destroyed, this may make this level impossible now due to the fact that no player can get those stars.
Yeah, that could certainly be an issue. I was going to say that key door, there's got to be a way to get in. I would check for hidden block, and there was one. I was thinking maybe there's a fire flower or something, but, you know, I will give the level creator this, because this is not a great level. At least they put a star and not just a fire flower, you know, like a single fire flower, but, yeah, not a great one. So the level is broken now, so unless they find, you know, a secondary star or something like that via another hidden block, although I don't see that being likely. So they'll probably just agree here, as they're just discussing here in a chat. They're just likely going to move on to the next level due to this one and not being possible anymore. At least, you know, I mean, it's possible there's another hidden block, but it just, you know, saves everyone's time to just move on to the next one.
Yeah, not worth trying to find something there. Probably isn't anything either. And even if there was another hidden block or a fire flower in that block, if a fire flower would probably make it super expert.
Well, and the block was destroyed, so there'd actually, there'd be no way to get in the key door, now that I think about it anyway, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, just once that happens, it's completely impossible. I've got Japanese 3D worlds. Loading the level. And it's castle theme. Got some dash blocks, some conveyor belts, some springs, some spikes. Plenty of variety.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on here right at the beginning. We'll see where that ends up. You know, those dash blocks are interesting. You know, I've seen, you know, even in my own play and watching this and other creators, there's a lot of levels that are able to use them effectively. Like, it's often, like, a lot of people are, you know, as it's a newer you know, I mean, item, whatever you want to call it, in the game, a lot of people are not super familiar with, like, the momentum control on these pads is really difficult, and so it's something that you have to work on. And so there's some really interesting. I saw a level where, you know, it was a vertical progression, but it was only with the dash pad, so you had to sort of stop and then go the other way and jump, and it was really challenging because that momentum is really difficult to control.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different interactions you can do with the dash blocks. It is possible to extend the dash block speed with an interesting little trick. If you time your long jump as it ends, you will lose the dash effect, but your long jump still maintains the speed as it were dashing, so you can get a tiny, tiny bit of speed if there's only one dash block. So now, Ouoyupot making it through this section, dodging the spikes, getting through, but does need a P-switch. Does not get through fast enough, and Revi has the P-switch, but is he gonna trigger it? Yes, he will. Not quite noticing in time that that's the way to go. But no, it's an on-off block, and that will probably blow up. Yeah, Spike's just sitting up there throwing some spike balls. Each player waiting for something to happen.
So yeah, the spring got moved up there from the conveyors, but I'm not sure what, you know, if anything else that they have to trigger here. We'll see what this ends up with here, and
it seems like they have to actually get the spike ball to move over to the right, but the spring is too far over, so it's not possible. So it looks like they'll have to move it back somehow and then get the spike to throw a spike ball into it. So Revi going up, hitting on off blocks. Or decides not to. So may have a skip here. Pretty much, if one person hits the on-off block, the other person has a big advantage.
yeah, and I mean, you know, no guarantee that the axe is right past that, but you would get a pretty significant lead. You know, even if this is, because I'm thinking that spring is, you know, sort of still touching the the edge of the conveyor there. If you turn the on-off block around, will it go back down? Like the control to get it to, you know, sort of go back and forth is pretty tough. So I have to imagine that they will be going for a collective skip here. They'll just both agree on it. They have to move the spring, but yeah, it looks like they'll just move on.
Yeah, a level like this, it's not worth trying to play it, since one player, of course, will get in the lead, or it just doesn't work. And yeah, they'll both skip.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes you just get a few in a row. Yeah, and actually that spring there wasn't, it looks like they've confirmed there that it wasn't actually moving with the on-off. It was too far over to the right, so it looks like it would have been needed to have been hit a couple times, sort of like in quick succession or something like that, but that spring actually wouldn't go back the other way, so looks like there was no way to complete that one, so they have to move on.
Yeah, having the momentum from the conveyor belt moving far to the right. Yeah, new castle level. There is an awful lot of castle levels in these. People seem to really like making expert castle levels.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Ooh, I know you dashing through very fast, but then get stuck on the pipe and get swamped by the thwomp.
Yeah, those were some great jumps until there, but just got a little cutout right at the end. So, you know, like we said, momentum, you know, you're running all the way to the right, and sometimes you get a little caught out, so Revi moving on, but Ouoyupot will at least knows the route to catch back up, so definitely, you know, not out of this one yet. There seems to be, you know, at least a good chunk of the level left here, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Revi carefully avoiding these swamps. Does get another mushroom and a checkpoint, though. With its good platforming, and that will reward him nicely.
Yeah, that'll save you some time, for sure. The being able to start from that checkpoint again, even if you go down, it definitely, you know, really is an advantage for you.
Yeah. Now we're fighting a Boom Boom, and it is required does get Keith going the key door. Ouoyupot's still a bit behind, but is trying to catch up. Having all these boss fights are delaying Revi, but nope, there's nothing left, and that's the axe.
Yeah, it was actually, you know, not super long after that checkpoint, and Ouoyupot there was, you know, had a good run sort of at the beginning there, just got unfortunately taken out by the thwomp, that very last thwomp before the pipe. After that, the level wasn't super difficult. It's, you know, just one of those things that happen sometimes, and now Revi up 2-0 over Ouoyupot, but it is first to 4, and so, you know, lots of room to catch up still. It's only really, in the grand scheme of things, it's only 2 levels, right? So
Yeah, it's still entirely possible for Ouoyupot to catch up. We got probably our first night ghost house we've seen in a while.
which is a good thing, in my opinion. Dark levels are usually not too excellent.
There's a hidden pit running straight into it. Not be able to see it. So Revi going a little bit more carefully. Does manage to avoid the pit. There was a lot of pits though.
Yeah, I remember a couple months ago in the sort of on that dark house theme, we sort of canvassed chat, and I was saying, what's sort of the worst level sort of amalgamation? And what we came up with, and brace yourself. I think the final was dark underwater auto scroller was what we came up with, and that's just truly is, I think, the worst thing that you could create in this game. So don't.
Honestly, water auto-scroll, when done right, is probably one of the best type of stages to play. Due to the fact that the auto-scroll is slow, but you could also move slow because you're underwater. I've seen some amazing stages, and they have been really fun to play.
Yeah, it's the dark that really throws it off, I think. That's the big thing there.
Yeah, of course it depends on how the level is designed, because you could probably make a really good level like that, but it'd be much harder to do due to the fact that a lot of players don't like the dark aspects. But there are certainly ways to make it work really well. So are you finding the pipe does go down and go with the arrow, and yeah, that's going to be the goal tape.
Yeah, so getting one back there, Ouoyupot on the board now, and so it's 2-1 still in favor of Revi, but yeah, Ouoyupot picking up 1, so you know, really only a 1 clear lead at this point, and you know, gotta feel good to get on the board again for sure, and you know, it's keeping a close one for sure.
Yeah, suddenly seems this could be the start of a comeback here. In fact, we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, Robi's Luigi, Ouoyupot. We've got Japanese SMM2. Only multiplayer versus tag. Could this be the one time where we see a multiplayer versus level in versus? And it does not seem to be.
Yeah, and a clear condition here, so no checkpoints in this level. So something to keep in mind. We'll see what sort of length the level has here.
So yeah, Revi making his way into this section. Players do have a dry bone shell though, and there's a bunch of poisonous mushrooms using the night ground theme. Yeah, floating, flying enemies, going through the air, some twisters, bouncy mushrooms.
Those, yeah, I was going to say those mushrooms there, with the blowy joeys there, boy, that is difficult to avoid.
Just floating straight up into the air with no movement whatsoever. So now are you catching up? They do need a key though, but it doesn't seem they can get one from anywhere. Could be a hidden block somewhere.
I'm wondering if maybe one of the Goombas has one there.
Oh yeah, that is certainly a very good idea. Could be the one that looks different, the Goombrats.
Yeah, there's too many. Yeah, and there you go. So
yeah, that's the key. But
interesting here, actually. They have to be careful of those mushrooms.
All amalgamates into one giant super poisonous mushroom. Ooh, are
like
you
that.
touching it? Sucks up all of the mushrooms at once. There is a stiletto though, but neither player goes for it. Gonna skip the boom boom, but no, there is a key dot. Gonna go back for it. So yeah, this will really decide. And there's Ouoyu taking the key, trying to run away from Revi. Revi trying to catch him. There's the boot. Revi does manage to get it though, but Ouoyu is not gonna let him in. But does manage to steal the key back from him. Revi's gonna try and go back. Ouoyu going around. Finds a section down there. Oh, and the mushroom jumping up and ninja slapping him on the foot.
Yeah, just cut right on the side, and that key floats up actually right to you know, Revi's advantage in that case. It went right where he needed to be, and so picks up the clear. And you know, it was a good play, I think, in my opinion, for Ouoyu to sort of jump down there and try and go the other way if you could, or you know, even loop back around. But unfortunately, you know, didn't work out in that case. So Revi with the clear there.
Yeah, even if Ouoyu got to the goal, he'd still need the clear condition and not have a mushroom, so it probably wouldn't be able to beat it at all. It's a Japanese new soup standard. Who knows what this means? If someone in chat wants to translate, go ahead, feel free to. It's a blind jump in a castle level. Really, could be anywhere to go, straight down the left, or could be all the way to the right.
Yeah, we'll see what this ends up. Yeah, at least there is some ground there. I mean, the blind jumps are never fun, but at least, you know, one or two jumps that you at least know, at least relatively where you're aiming.
Ooh, and are you running into the spring? Spring having collision, not making it through. Yeah, now that they know where the ground is, they can actually make a bunch more progress. Getting through a lot of springs. There is a Charvog, though. Gotta watch out for that. Or the giant lava snake.
Yeah, mushroom there for Revi will definitely help out to, you know, can tank a hit from something here and finds a checkpoint as well. So that's actually a definitely a good advantage to have for sure, and makes it past the Meowser. And there is the flag. Oh, it was very close at the end.
Ooh,
Ouoyu almost got that. I thought that there might have been a steal that bottom path. I thought, well, he's small, maybe he can just sneak through. But Revi takes that series, so 4-1 is the final there. So GG's to both players, and you know, well played by both of them. That was almost a steal there by Ouoyu at the end. But we'll take a short break here, folks. We'll be set for our next match in just a moment. So stick around, don't go anywhere, and we will be back with our next one.
Yeah, see you all then.
They are synced.
They are synced now. Do whatever. In the lead again.
Wow.